Hello everybody, my name is Jamal Edwards from Imperial Comics and Games, and with us today, of course, is...
My name is Clyde from Fat Stacks MTG.
And we're doing something new and creative here. We're going to do a little collaborative unboxing for Commander Legends Dungeons & Dragons Battle for Baulders Gate. I'm really excited. Clyde's a very good friend of mine, so we're glad to be able to support his channel. He's a very faithful part of our community here at Imperial Comics and Games, so it was natural for us to do a collab, so I'm glad to be here with you.
I'm super excited to be here too. Something I definitely wanted to do. Just make sure if y'all are ever in Shelby, come out, check out Imperial Comics and Games. Plenty of events going on, whether it's Magic, D&D, Digimon, anything, you name it, we got it going on here.
Appreciate that as always. And if you haven't already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Fat Stacks. So you always get some great videos of footage. Clyde is also a pretty epic disc golfer as well, so you can get lots of information from him there. So if you've not subscribed to either of our channels, please make sure you do so. With that being said, we're going to open up today a box of set boosters from Baulders Gate, Battle for Baulders Gate, Commander Legends, Dungeons & Dragons. Mouthful. So let me give some initial thoughts before I open this. I've actually seen little to nothing from this set. As a shop owner and as a person that sells Magic the Gathering products, I am very, very torn about this because the last D&D based sets, Adventure for Forgotten Realms, was probably one of my worst selling MTG sets in years. So when this came around again, I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with it, but it's a Commander based set, and Commander is such an important part of our community here. So what were your thoughts about it?
So coming from a player aspect of it, you know, it was really interesting to see. Commander Legends 1 had a lot of great hits, a lot of great reprints. With this set, we're not seeing as many powerhouse cards. There is some really good cards in this set, but I don't think it's as powerful as what Commander Legends 1 was, but only time will tell. It depends on how many people can break these cards, how we compare them. So it's gonna be really interesting to see over the next probably month or so, once more people get their hands on this product, to see what they can do with it.
And to add to all that, I'm kind of afraid this is going to fall through the cracks because we got Double Masters coming out, yep. Battle for Dominaria. I feel like New Capenna was like 30 minutes ago. So it's just here's a new set, and we don't have time to digest these things. And on top of that, it's a D&D set. So let's see what it is, and I'm optimistic. We've had 2 pre-releases for this already here at the shop, and both of them were smaller than our New Capenna pre-releases. I actually have pre-release kits left, which is unusual for us here. But again, it's a couple issues. You got Capenna, summertime is slow because everybody's on vacation, and it's a D&D set, so the combination is always not very good. But we're gonna be optimistic here and see what we got. So you want to get the first pack? Yeah,
and just remember, he did say more pre-release kits come, so come down and get yours.
I do. I have a whole shelf of pre-release kits left.
All right, so we're gonna get in. We're gonna crack our first pack. Now, each pack does come with 20 cards in each pack, so something a little different from most other sets that you may open.
And there's 20. Is it 24 in here, or 30?
There is 18.
Is 18? I know it's smaller because the pre-release kits were smaller. You only got 4 packs for the pre-release kit, and here I think it's just 18 packs. So look, you can see how narrow the box is. So it's a lot smaller, a lot smaller.
So we're not going to showcase every single card here. We're going to go over, I'm going to name them off, and then we will showcase the ones worth talking about the most. But in our first pack, we do have an island. Servok, the Deathbringer, it's 3 mana, 3 black, legendary creature, human knight. At the beginning of each player's end step, no permanents left the battlefield this turn. That player loses X life, where X is Servok's power.
I like that they brought back the old advanced D&D arts, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that old art like that is pretty neat. The I guess what they call it, like a comic book style, or
yeah,
it was kind of weird how
it's
they
like
did
that.
it.
So the very, very old D&D sets used to have the art kind of like that.
Gotcha. So we have Nemesis Power, Contact Other Plane, Psychic Impetus, Marital Impetus, Stone Speaker Crystal, Mind Stone. Mind Stone's always a pretty decent one for most Commander formats, so not a bad reprint.
I like the new art.
Yeah, the new art is cool. Got this girl with holding up a crystal, like levitating.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Treasure Keeper. Treasure Keeper is a pretty cool card. Good for weird artifact decks that want to keep casting stuff.
Artifact deck, you say?
Yes.
That sounds like something I would want to use. When Treasure Keeper dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card with mana value 3 or less. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost, but all reveal cards not cast as well in the bottom. Oh, and your library in a random order. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We got Arcane Encyclopedia. Tap 3, pay 3, tap, draw a card. Our first rare is Will, Blade of Frontiers. 1 red, one of anything, legendary creature, human warlock. If you would roll one or more dice, instead roll that many dice plus one and ignore the lowest roll. Whenever you roll one or more dice, put a +1/+1 counter on Will, Blade of Frontiers, and does have choose a background.
Okay. So how familiar are you with the choose your background mechanic for this set?
So in the whole set, there's different legendary enchantments that come out that you can use in combination, kind of like a partner commander. Instead of now it's a legendary enchantment, so you can run 2 colors, or if your main commander is more than one, then we have multiple that we can do. So you get to choose your background that is essentially in your command zone.
So is it treated as an enchantment? Is it treated as a creature?
It is treated as an enchantment.
Enchantment, okay.
Yep.
So you can
still
remove.
can be removed,
Okay.
correct. Only thing I'm not sure on that is if they are affected by commander attacks or not, because it is a different style permanent. So that's something that we'll have to kind of figure out as we go.
Yeah.
If you know it, leave a comment. Gilded Artisan. And we got our first etched foil, Corlessa Scale
foil.
Stinger. Yes.
So a lot of foil on that card.
Legendary creature dragon, blue-green. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast dragon spells from the top of your library.
Okay, that could work in my Ur Dragon deck.
So I think you need this.
I do need that.
All right.
I do need that.
Battle Angels of Tyre. I think this is actually one of the good hits in this set. It's two white, flying myriad. Whenever Battle Angels of Tyre deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. If that player has more cards in hand than each other player, then you create a treasure token if that player controls more lands than each other player. Then you gain 3 life if that player has more life than each other player.
That's a lot of text on that card.
So as long as you have more than each other player, you're good.
That is a lot on that card.
And then Aarakocra Sneak. I murdered that, no clue. And then we got a night token.
I like the art card too. That's pretty cool. It's a Marut art card. Let me see that one. Did you?
Yeah, go ahead. Knock yourself out.
I see what I see. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'll leave that one alone. So
I said.
We're gonna go to my pack. Again, nice art card. Got a Moss Diamond. Lulu Loyal Hollyfont, excuse me. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each tapped creature you control, then untap them. Choose a background. So one of the cool things about Commander Legends is it's great fodder for Commander decks. So you can get a lot of really cheap commanders out of Commander Legends. Wasn't Jury in Commander?
Jury was in the last Commander set.
Yeah.
And
so I bring up Jury because that's what I use for our dual Commander League, for my dual deck. And it's just an uncommon legendary creature out of Commander Legends. It's like 10, 15 cents, maybe that much, I don't even know now.
If that.
Yeah, and it was a great commander. I did really well in our league. And that's what this is already shaping up as, because I can see somebody doing some foolishness with this Lulu card.
Especially in an Aristocrats deck where you want to be sacrificing stuff.
Yeah, so Commander Legends is great for casual commander play. I got a Scale Nurturer, Nimbleclaw Adept, an Ambitious Dragonborn, Resilio Rail Kingpin. What is this? When there's a battlefield, you take initiative. How does initiative work?
So initiative is a new dungeon mechanic that they have, and if I'm not mistaken, it's one of those where you get to go through your dungeon, but if you get hit, then the other person can start taking the initiative.
Okay.
And it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We had a couple of those go in our pre-release pod.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't paying attention because I was just trying to hurry up and die. So
Fair enough, fair enough. I got a foil Lulu.
Oh, nice.
To go with the drawing one.
All art one.
The all art one. I did want to highlight this one, then we'll go to our next pack. The Zevlor Elturel Exile. He's a tiefling warrior with haste 4/2 for 1 and Grixis for 2, and tap it when you next cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a single opponent or a single permanent an opponent controls this turn. For each other opponent, choose that player or permanent they control, copy that spell, and the copy targets the chosen player or permanent. This is great for shenanigans for Commander. I can definitely see myself using something like that. Plus, I love Grixis anyway. But I'm noticing a reoccurring theme of very, very convoluted card text and card mechanics on this set.
Yes, it's one of those where reading the card explains the card, but you have to read it at least 3 times before you actually understand it. But no, I'm with him on that one. That card, I'm excited for to build something around or put it in the 99, just be able to copy a bunch of spells.
Yep.
Especially if you're doing anything that enables doublers or double damage, so Fiery Confluence with that.
You can do some silliness with that real quick.
So this is actually a pretty cool art card. I don't know what the art is at, but it's a little goblin and an owl.
Yeah, it's owlbear. I think it's owlbear.
All right, so we got planes, Valhalla Candlekeep Researcher. Vigilance, tap, add an amount of colorless equal to Valhalla Candlekeep's Researcher's toughness. This mana can't be spent to cast spells from your hand. So anything from your graveyard, maybe you're playing mono blue artifacts.
Okay.
Vicona Dow Apostate.
Yeah.
At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 4 more creature cards in your graveyard, return a creature card at random from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, so it's black and 2, so that's pretty cool for some type of basic reanimator deck.
Yeah.
We're not going to spend too much time on these uncommons. Shiny Impetus, Prophetic Prism, Wayfarer's Bauble, good, decent reprint.
I didn't know they reprinted Wayfarers.
Yeah, Wayfarers is definitely in the set, so that's not a bad little cheap reprint that we got. Modify Memory, Iron Mastiff. This is another weird one where they have the whole dice thing because it is D&D.
Way too much text on that card.
Yeah, you pretty much roll dice. If it's between 1 and 9, it does one thing. 10 to 19, it does. 20, it just murders everything.
And that's a return from AFR, because they were doing that in the regular standard set for AFR. And most of those cards ended up not seeing a lot of play in my experience.
No. Oh, we did get a reprint of Burnished Heart, this time with a cute little Pinocchio.
I don't like it.
But it's
I don't like it.
Pinocchio.
No.
I mean, it's not Pinocchio, but it's like it.
It's creepy.
But in deer form.
It's creepy. I don't like it.
He never tells a lie.
I'm going to sacrifice it.
We got Wilson, Redefined Grizzly. Now, I want to actually touch base on this card because somebody in our pod played this card as their commander.
Okay.
And it's a 1 mana, 1 green, 2/2, legendary creature, Bear Warrior. This spell can't be countered. Vigilance, Reach, and Trample, Ward 2. So Ward, if you're not familiar with it, whenever it becomes a target of a spell or ability, they have to pay 2 more. And then you get to choose a background. There's another card that goes with this that makes your commander's 10/10 base power and toughness.
What is the other background?
It's a white enchantment or a green enchantment. If we come across it, I'll have to put it out. But I'm going to set this to the side because it was pretty brokely. Our first rare is Shameless Charlatan.
Okay.
1 mana, 1 blue, legendary enchantment background. Commander creatures you own have pay 2 and a blue. This creature becomes a copy of another target creature.
Okay. So are the backgrounds, because this reminds me of, was it Oathkeeper or Oathbreaker? What was the other format that didn't last? Do you remember that? Where you had like your commander, and then your commander had a spell, and it lasted for like 45 minutes. It format, at least here, it didn't last. But anyway, that's what it reminded me of with the backgrounds, where there's like an enchantment that goes with your commander.
I know what you're talking about. They had the whole set of those where they had like, it was a big cards that came in there.
No, I don't think it was that. But it was a format that lasted. It was like in 2018, 2019. I could be completely wrong, but it was like Oathbreaker, Oathkeep, or something like that. Because I remember we did it for a minute, and it was basically commander. You had a commander, and they had a spell, and they could cast that spell, and it had a command tax on every time you cast a spell. It was a whole thing.
I'm glad I didn't play that. It's too much.
Yeah, but that's what this reminds me of.
So we have another foil etched of Vicona Drow Apostate. I will touch that these etched foils are actually really, really nice in person. I think almost better than the first Commander Legends sets.
They are.
And then another rare is Gorion, Wise Mentor. Bant, Vigilance, whenever you cast an adventure spell, you may copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy, and is a 3/4. And then we got a foil of Evolving Wilds.
Nice.
And a treasure token.
All right, we're gonna pick up a little bit of speed and go to our next pack here. There's cool art on there. If it's stuff that we've had before, I'm not gonna say it or nothing that sticks out. So one of the things I really like, and I saw this a lot with New Capenna, is how heavy they're leaning on treasures. Treasures were introduced back in Ixalan or so, if I remember correctly. And since then, we've seen an increasing usage of the treasure mechanic, which are tokens that you can sacrifice to make a mana of any color. It actually was before Capenna. We saw a bunch in Kamigawa too. But Capenna especially, we saw a ton of treasures. And now they're back here again, and I like it. I like treasures. We have Noble's Purse. enters the battlefield tapped with 3 coin counters. I remove a coin counter from the purse to create a treasure. Since it's a counter, if I have anything like, say I'm using my Atraxa deck, I can increase the number of counters on here or do any other effect that increases counters, and I could potentially have a non-stop treasure generator.
Yep.
So that's a really neat little thing for 2 mana. Got some new Swiftfoot boots, another old Lululemon over here, Agent of the Shadow Thieves. Commander creatures you own have, whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature against Death Touch and indestructible until end of turn. Pretty neat. So it's a background. That's one of the backgrounds. Another background, Popular Entertainer. Astarion's Thirst. What is this? This is a rare foil instant for 3 and a black. Exile target creature, put a X +1/+1 counters on a commander creature you control, where X is the power of the creature. Exile this way. So it's kind of neat that they are leaning in on the commander stuff as well, where they're specifically targeting commander creatures. This is from the list. This is a reprint.
Yeah.
I didn't realize there were list cards in this set.
Yep. So with the set boosters, we always get cards from the list. I never look at to see what's in the list. I just wait to open them and see what I get.
But yeah, I was thinking that since this was a D&D set and special that it wouldn't have the list stuff, but it does. It's here. This is a Bleak Coven Vampires old card. What set is that? You remember?
Mirrodin.
No, that's Mirrodin?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it's an old set. Bleak Coven Vampires. What you got?
All right, so we got Fire Diamond, Command Tower, Atrocious Experiment, Dream Fracture, Goggles of the Night, Contact the Other Plane, Dragon Cultist. It's another legendary background. Corlessa Scalesinger. Saw one of these earlier. Cloakwood Hermit. And we did get Minsk and Boo, Timeless Heroes.
Nice. So they're actually on the cover art for the box.
Yep. So it's a legendary planeswalker, 2 and Gruul. When it enters the battlefield at the beginning of your upkeep, you may create Boo, a legendary 1/1 red hamster creature token with trample and haste. Plus it for 1, put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature with trample or haste. -2, sacrifice a creature. When you do, Minsk and Boo, Timeless Heroes deals X damage to any target where X is that creature's power. If the sacrificed creature was a hamster, draw X cards.
That's pretty cool, because in AFR, he was in there, but he was a creature.
Yep.
And now he's a planeswalker.
And it can be your commander too.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
We got Master Chef.
I thought that was Master Chief for a second.
I thought it was too. I was about to say that. A little Halo action. Scion of Hallister, foil etched. Asterion the Decadent.
I thought that was George
Decadent.
Washington.
It was.
This is like George Washington.
Yeah, as a vampire. This is actually a pretty good commander card. It's 4 white-black, Death Touch lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, choose 1. Feed, target opponent loses life equal to the amount of life they lost this turn. Friends, you gain life equal to the amount of life you gain this turn.
I like that. That is fun. Yeah, I can see that working really well.
Rasad Yin Bashir, and a token.
Cool. Well, let's both, because we're going to pick up a little speed, we'll both open a pack and pull out something that sticks out to us, and we'll start to wind this thing down. I got an art card. Starting to see some repeats, which is normal. The Feywild Visitor, that's a cool card. Babala Saga, the Night Witch. Sacrifice up to 3 permanents. If there were 3 or more card types among the sacrificed permanents, each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life and draw 3 cards. That's a really cool commander for black, green, and 1. It's not bad. Flaming Fist. What is this? Miram Sentinel Worm.
Yeah, so that's actually what I drafted for my commander for pod.
Really? How'd it go?
It didn't.
It didn't go.
No, I killed myself.
I mean, it's got Flying, Ward 2. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, create a token that's a copy of it, except the token isn't legendary if that dragon is legendary. That seems like it was pretty good.
It is a really good card, so all your dragon folk, put it in there.
You know, I'm all about some dragons.
Yeah. So we did get a legendary enchantment background, foil edge, so it's really nice, called Noble Heritage. It's 1 and a white. Commander creatures you own Commander creatures you own have, when this creature enters the battlefield at the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature they control. For each opponent who does, you gain protection from that player until your next turn.
Okay.
So it's another little fun politics card.
It is. And
we did get a set card, Croesus the Purger.
So I used to run that card in my discard deck.
Yep, so it's 3 in Grixis, legendary creature dragon from I think it's a commander set.
That's from a commander set, yeah.
Yep, and it's flying whenever it deals damage to a player. You may pay 2 and a black. If you do, choose a color. Then that player reveals his or her hand and discards all cards of that color and is a 6/6 flyer.
Cool. I want to highlight 2 cards from this pack that I just got. Candlekeep Sage, which is a legendary enchantment background for 2 and a blue. Commander creatures you own have, when this creature enters or leaves the battlefield, draw a card. So that's pretty interesting.
Especially if you can flicker it too.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I could use that in my flicker deck, and I can just keep bouncing my commander and getting stuff. And the other one was an Intellect Devourer. There's a couple of horrors that are pretty cool. Isn't one of the commander decks a horror?
Yes,
Yes,
it's like a Mind Flayer deck.
Yep. So this is a 3 and a black for a 2/4 creature horror. It has Devour, Intellect, and Body Thief. When Intellect Devourer enters the battlefield, each opponent exiles a card from their hand until Intellect Devourer leaves the battlefield. Body Thief, you may play lands and cast spells from among cards exiled with Intellect Devourer. If you cast a spell this way, you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast it. So that's pretty neat.
Nice. So I do have 2 here that I thought were kind of cool. So another reprint that we did get is Nature's Lore. It's 1 in a green. Search your library for a forest card and put that card onto the battlefield, then shuffle.
That's an old school.
That is a very, very old card,
Yes.
but it is a cool, very cheap reprint.
Yeah.
And then we did get Renari, Merchant of Marvels, 3 in a blue, legendary creature, Dragon Artificer. You may cast dragon spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. Choose a background.
I'm just seeing stuff on my dragon deck. That's all I keep seeing, which is appropriate with Dungeons and Dragons. But
Yep. So I think the Dragon Tribal is going to get a lot of cool new pieces that may make it stronger.
definitely. Trying to see if there's anything else just sticking out real quick. Ball Lord of Murder. I got a Snapcaster Mage. Well, I'll be.
I didn't know that was in the list, but that's probably one of the best list cards.
Yeah, I was not expecting the Snapcaster Mage, so that makes this all worth it right there, just that. But anyway, Ball, Lord of Murder, 2 and John for a 4/4 legendary creature god. As long as your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total, Ball, Lord of Murder has indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and goad it. Very nice. And of course, I got a Snapcaster Mage. I'm gonna put that to the side and get it a sleeve as soon as we finish this video.
So out of this pack, we did get a foil etched Alundo the Seer. It is 2 in green and blue tap. Draw a card, then exile a card from your hand and put a number of time counters on it equal to its mana value. It gains when the last time counter is removed from this card, it is exiled. You may cast it without paying its mana cost. If you cast a creature spell this way, it gains haste until end of turn, then remove a time counter from each other card you own in exile.
I never thought I would see time counters again.
Yep, and that's kind of cool that, you just play stuff from exile.
Never thought I would see time counters again, but it is cool. I got Jaheira, Friend of the Forest. It's a legendary creature, human elf druid for 2 and a green, 2/3. The reason why I'm highlighting this card because it has an ability that says tokens you control have tapped to make green. So I play a lot of token decks. This bad boy is going into one of them so that all of my tokens become Land of War Elves. Very good card. It also has choose a background. Lightning Bolt. I didn't know that was in there.
Yep, Lightning Bolt is in the common spot.
Neat art for it too. Is this Ghost Lantern? Whenever creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on your creature. Okay, cool.
So one thing that this is a pretty cool card is 2 in a blue, Gale Waterdeep Prodigy. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, you may cast up to 1 target card of the other type from your graveyard. If a spell cast from your graveyard this way would be put into your graveyard, exile instead, choose a background.
Okay.
So pretty similar to how Kess was, where you get to play something from your graveyard each turn, but anytime you cast something, you get to cast the complete opposite now.
Gotcha. So I have another mechanics question. Do I get to have like a stack of backgrounds and I just pick one, you just pick a background?
Yep, so your background is part of your commander.
Okay. So whenever I pick my commander, I pick my background and it has to all be in the same colors as my commander?
Correct.
Okay. This new art for Command Tower is pretty cool. I haven't seen that one.
It is. It's really pretty and full too.
Let me do one more and then I'll go over these 2 cards that I found that I like. Nine Fingers Keen and Raga Draga. I just want to got him because of his name. And for all my old school D&D folks, I know I'm mispronouncing names. Please forgive me. don't take away all my nerd street cred. I do own a shop that runs D&D campaigns, but I don't know how to pronounce some of these older D&D names, so I'm sorry. But Ragadraga. Was there anything in this pack? There we go. All right, so let's go over these three real quick. I have Wow Blade Frontiers. He's for 1 in the red for human warlock, 1/1 legendary creature. If I roll a, you already did this one. If I roll a dice, right? Didn't you do that one? You roll a die, you get to do the die, pick the better die.
Well, I didn't get it in full etched.
Yeah, that's the foil. Nine Fingers Keen, 1 black, green, and a blue for 4/4 legendary human rogue with menace, ward, pay 9 life. That is weird. Whenever Nine Fingers Keen deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 9 cards of your library. You may put a gate card from among them onto the battlefield. Then if you control 9 or more gates, put the rest into your hand. Otherwise, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I'm glad that they're doing stuff with gates, because gates was a really big thing in Standard back when Guilds, was it Guilds of Ravnica, I think? Or no, Streets. What was it? It was the first of the new Ravnica set right before War of the Spark. That's
yeah, it was Guilds of Ravnica.
Was it Guilds?
Something like that.
I think it was Guilds of Ravnica.
It wasn't Allegiance.
No, it was Guilds. It was Guilds. And they had the Gatebreaker Ram and all that stuff, and it was really cool. And people were just popping gates and going off. And so you can bring back your old stuff from 3 years ago and use it with this.
Make a gate deck.
And old Ragadraga, Gorkidus Boss. 2 red and a green for 4/4 legendary human boar. Each creature you control with mana ability gets +2/+2. Whenever creature you control with a mana ability attacks, untap it, which is really great. And whenever you cast a spell, if at least 7 mana was spent to cast it, untap target creature gets +7/+7 and gains trample. I really like it.
So we got 2 cards left that we're going to go over, and we're going to split them because I think this one is a pretty good hit. But we're going to go over Dynahir, Invoker Adept. Okay. 1 blue, red, and white. Haste. You may activate abilities of other creatures you control as though those creatures had haste. You tap it when you next activate an ability this turn by spending 4 more mana to activate it. Copy that ability. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Nice, nice. It's got some Narset vibes.
Very much.
Yeah. And then we got Tasha, as in Tasha's from the D&D set, of course, and her big old book that everybody wants that I can never keep in stock. Tasha the Witch Queen is a legendary planeswalker for 3 and Dimir. She comes in with 4 loyalty. Whenever you cast a spell you don't own, create a 3/3 black demon creature token. This is again right up my alley. For a +1, draw a card. For each opponent, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from that player's graveyard and put a page counter on it. You -3, you may cast a spell from among cards in exile with page counters on them without paying its mana cost. That's pretty neat.
And you can use it as your commander.
Yeah, I like that.
So once again, we're in the theme of bringing stuff back from the dead.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Overall, it's a pretty good box. Saw some cool stuff in it. I'm overjoyed about the Snapcaster Mage.
I think that was the best hit, even though it's not technically in the set.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. Overall, I'm liking this better than AFR. Now that AFR was a bad set, it just didn't do a whole lot for. See, I gotta be. I'm the nice one. AFR just didn't do a whole lot for me and for most people. But so far, this looks pretty good. I can see myself using some of these cards, especially the dragon stuff.
Yeah, the dragon stuff's gonna be really cool to see. One thing I do want to point out, remember this set does not release until the 10th. So if you're interested in trying to get any of these cards, swing by on the 10th. We'll have them in the case.
Yep, and we normally do some actual release events in addition to our pre-release events. So our pre-release was this past weekend. The actual release on the 10th, we'll be doing some draft and some other unique pod activities going on for that. If you're interested in this set, please swing by and check it out. Again, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Fat Stacks, as well as to Imperial Comics and Games. We would love to see you in the chat, in the comments, I should say. And if you're in the Shelby area, you want to come and hang out and play games with us, please feel free to do so.
Thank you all for watching. See you next time.
All right, we'll see you.